everyone, it's PixelProto, and today I'm going to be analyzing Sonaria's evolution history because I can. These giant bones are literally everywhere, even in Legacy. So, these skulls actually aren't the only bones that can be found scattered across Sonaria, because rib cages are almost as common, and you can actually see them in all of the following images I found all over Discord. However, this fossil found in Legacy is different. It appears to be the tail of a fish or some kind of crustacean. The skeleton is actually quite similar to the tail of a Cavaratus. This is actually backed up by the fact that not only is Cavaratus a super behemoth like the fossils are, but also because of the fact that Cavaratus is semi-aquatic, and there is a skeleton in Rocky Drop at the Aegean Shrine. There are many skeletons underwater, but this one stands out the most due to its location. Cavaratus is an ocean depth-dwelling species that lives in deep-sea volcanic vents. They even produce vent gas from their bodies. The reason why there being a giant ribcage and skull at the Aegean Shrine backs up my claim is because the Aegean Warden was originally called the Depths Warden, with an appearance similar to one of Subnautica's gargantuan leviathans. This means that whatever this extinct species was, it lived and died in the depths of Rocky Drop, presumably due to lack of living space and resources, according to these Discord users, and yeah. I theorize that a few of the current creatures in Sonaria actually shared this species as a common ancestor due to how the skeleton, most notably the skull, is shaped. Judging by the skull's inward-pointed teeth, front-facing eyes, and the skeleton's sheer size, this creature was an apex predator during its lifetime. However, the skeleton is missing something quite vital. This creature's flat head and flat fan tail indicates that it was built to be streamlined, but the size of the ribcage and how closely it's connected to the head and what we can see from this image would create a sharp, almost vertical slope between the jaw and the chest, causing the streamlined features to become completely pointless. In addition to the problems that this would cause for the creature, the way the skeleton is arranged combined with its sheer size indicates that it likely died in a similar position to the way it is now and hasn't shifted much due to the weight of the skeleton. This means that the head probably couldn't have rotated into the position it's in now if the head was connected in the previous anatomy diagram in the actual scenario. So this can only mean one thing, and it's that the creature must have had a long neck. This makes a lot of sense because it would not only allow the creature to be more streamlined, but also would make it more capable of capturing prey hiding in small spaces, making up for its huge size. Judging by what we can see of how the ribcage is structured on the end connecting to where the creature's neck should be, we can tell that its neck must have been long and thin, similar to a plesiosaur's. Unfortunately, this creature's skull does not appear to be built to unhinge its jaw, meaning that it would be unable to swallow larger prey whole, meaning that its long neck would actually cause it to starve due to it not being able to find and swallow big enough food. However, there is one thing that could easily fix this, and it's that the creature must have had limbs to tear its food into bite-sized chunks. This body shape was quite beneficial to the species, meaning it likely survived like this for a long time, and in current times, one creature actually still keeps a similar body shape to this ancient sea dweller. You know this creature, you like it, it's koi piece. I'd guess that creatures began to evolve to be smaller as a result of the changing scenario geography and atmosphere, which is likely why koi piece evolved as what is probably a subspecies of this creature. However, we need to return to the original creature. As its prey and environment began to get smaller, so did it. Now that the creature would start to evolve to be smaller in size, its long neck would actually become a hindrance in catching food solely due to the fact that its prey would have begun to evolve sooner than it. This means that it is still too big and its prey is now too small. This is where the creature evolves into 3 subspecies as it continues to shrink. One subspecies eventually evolves into koi piece, as we know, while the second begins to adapt to an entirely new diet. The species starts to adapt to a more omnivorous diet, which is why some of the skulls have more forwards-pointing teeth and less front-facing eyes. This creature eventually fully develops into an herbivore, causing its arms to lose function and developing into fins instead. Without sharp teeth meant for tearing flesh, this creature is no longer able to defend itself too well, and as a result evolves a body and abilities meant for escaping newfound predators. This subspecies has evolved into a Quaxteromox, which you know. Probably. But this isn't the end. Remember that third subspecies I spoke about? It's the most interesting of all. Now that this creature has evolved to be smaller and newfound predators have begun to come after it, it evolves to journey into unknown territory. Land. The creature begins to evolve into an amphibian-like creature in order to survive on land, and since it no longer primarily lives in the water, some of the creatures no longer use traits such as the webbed tail start to recede throughout generations, turning the creature into something like an axolotl or newt. This creature eventually evolves into 2 subspecies of its own, Lycisius and Vahiax. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm sorry. By this time, many other creatures have also evolved to survive on land as well, causing both of the amphibious creatures subspecies to evolve back into carnivores like their ancestor was. Lysicus evolves into one last subspecies, Aisho, while Vahiex is still part of a long line of evolution. Due to more threats evolving, Vahiex begins to re-evolve a couple of aquatic features along with regaining eyes in order to better survive in a world full of newfound threats. This causes Vahiex to evolve into 3 more subspecies that are very well known: Miralark, Kohiki, and Sigmatox. Judging by its eyes-like coloring and head structure, Miralark evolved similarly to Smilodon, except not at the top of the food chain and made to hunt both water-dwelling and terrestrial prey. Miralark evolved a singular subspecies that inhabits the same biome as it does, Tainuk. Although many cat-like species have evolved in Sonaria, Tainuk is actually the end of its evolution line. Other Sonarian felines seem to have developed from different ancestors than Tainuk, and I might go over them in another video, but for now, I've been talking for too long, so thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye!